I'm that guy. Yeah. Woo! All right. Jalen Brunson is my boyfriend. I don't know who that is. Let me get the sound right. All right. Welcome to the Earlverse, baby. How the hell do we have 6 people in here and not a single like? I'll stop this stream right now, God damn it. After the King game last night, I'll ban all of you. I'll even ban my moderators. I don't give a fuck. 7 people in here and 1 like. All right, here we go. Now, all right, now we're getting some likes in there. I mean, I don't ask you guys for much. And I give more than I get in the streaming world. Let's get the plugs out of the way. Follow me. Watching that Lightning Panther game right now. Thank you guys for joining me. I do appreciate you guys. I hope you know I'm just playing a character. I love you all. And that's on the real. I don't have a producer. Kings played a damn good game last night, and we lost 1-0. Someone can clip this next part and send it to the Kings. Pierre-Luc Dubois, wake up! Shit. You're getting paid $8.5 million, and you're now the fourth line center behind Blake Lizotte. Wake up! I have not watched the Bon Jovi documentary. I hear mostly good things about it. I heard Rat was mentioned. People forget Bon Jovi. I believe they were taken out by Kiss on the Creatures of the Night tour, if I'm not mistaken. And then Rat, I believe, the Out of the Cellar tour when Rat was at their all-time high of popularity. So I'm interested to see. I hear Bon Jovi had his hands in this documentary, which I normally don't like because then you get the narrative that he wants out there. Like, I would love to, and he's no longer with us, but Alec John Such, I would love to have gotten his narrative because he left the band at the height of their fame and just said, fuck it. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Chris. Of course, that was when Bruce Kulick was just recently took over for Mark St. John. By the way, if you want to hear Mark St. John play live with Kiss on an official recording, as Chris knows, you can do. I will give Kiss this thing. I do like their series called Live Off the Soundboard, and their latest release from that series is their only full concert, I believe, live from Poughkeepsie, 1984, with Mark St. John on the guitar. Of course, Rock and Roll All Night cuts out at the end after the solo, and I believe Young and Wasted did not have some of the vocals because Kiss literally ran out of tape. I don't think they thought they were going to tape the show, like in terms of use it for future whatever box sets, but we got most of Mark St. John. I mean, I'll definitely have to check it out. I mean, listen, love Bon Jovi or hate them, you've got to give them the respect of having a very long career. I mean, I haven't bought a Bon Jovi album probably since Bad Medicine, to be honest with you. I mean, I did buy their box set because I wanted to hear the song On the Edge of a Broken Heart, which is one of my favorite Bon Jovi. I would say my three favorite Bon Jovi songs are On the Edge of a Broken Heart, Living on a Prayer, and She Don't Know Me. No, I'm a King fan, so I'm not going to all of a sudden start rooting for the Knights. Once my team is out, be it the Kings, the Steelers, I don't really have a baseball team necessarily. I just enjoy the games. Like right now, I'm watching Tampa Bay and Florida. I don't care who wins, but we almost had man. It's amazing. Sergachev is playing. No, there's two On the Edge of a Broken Heart. There's the one that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for Vixen, Richard Marx and Fee Waybill from the Tubes wrote that for them. Indeed, it did. And there's a lot of great Bon Jovi songs. I like Bed of Roses. And, Runaway. I like their earlier stuff. I kind of checked out after Bad Medicine. I mean, Toronto's just not playing very well. Not sure. They have a lot of talent, but their goaltending suspect, and their defense is suspect. You got to really build from the goalie out. Like when the Kings won 2 of 3 Stanley Cups. They drafted Doughty, they drafted Quick, and they drafted Kopitar and Dustin Brown. That's how you do it. You can probably well, it's on Spotify, I think. Yeah, I mean Tony Khan. I mean, once again, I would have done it differently. I would have had, when it was time for the Jaguars selection, I would have had Tony Khan walk out in the neck brace, and then the Elite's music hits, and you have Okada, the Bucks, and Jack Perry make the selection for the Jaguars. Come on, man. That would have been fucking funny. And I'm sure Tony Khan's family would have been on board with that. Now, maybe the NFL wouldn't have been on board with that, but that would have been funny. And we got in AEW some extra eyes maybe this week on Dynamite. Now, this week's Dynamite should be good. It's in Winnipeg. We're seeing the return, but that would have been so fucking funny, and news outlets would have picked it up. You could have even done it where Tony Khan's about to make the selection. All of a sudden, the lights go out, and Jack Perry power bombs him again, and then Okada in his mangled English makes the selection. I mean, just think about it. Earl, have you ever tried watching the Michael Mann produced Tokyo Vice? I've heard about it. I've never watched it. Everyone say hello to Tony Khan's #1 fan, Jordan the Lion. Check out his travel vlog. Thank you very much. Jordan is inspirational to me because he started out with about the same number of subscribers I have, and now he has like 400,000. So it should be interesting. AEW Dynamite this Wednesday. I'm assuming the Elite and Perry and Okada will be there. And then, like, if I were them, I would have them start the show. And then you have Kenny Omega come out. And, they do a promo back and forth. Of course, you all know that Omega and Okada had great matches in New Japan, so there's a history there, and something that could be done there. I don't know if Omega is going to be able to wrestle anytime soon. I'm assuming not until London. But well, yeah, I mean, I actually, you did start with the 0, but now you have like 400,000 subscribers, so I can imagine what your live chats look like, and the super chat money, baby. I hope to get there one day, so I can quit stand-up comedy and just stream. What about Kevin Nash criticizing Ospreay's body? I mean, Ospreay has a strange body from the standpoint of he's not overly muscular, but he's pretty jacked. I mean, like if he was, and Nash is really not one to talk about someone's body. I don't know if you've ever seen Kevin Nash's lower body lately, but it looks like, Sanjay Dutt's legs. So now, granted, he is in his 60s, but I think Ospreay has a great body. I mean, in my opinion. By the way, tonight I'll be seeing Alien, the 40th anniversary, in a movie theater. I'll have to give a review tomorrow night. Of course, it's going to be very exciting to see the great Yaphet Kotto on the big screen. A Captain Skakel, proud soldier of the Earl Army. Thank you, ACDC 5150. All are welcome in the Earl Army. I wasn't going to do a stream today. I was going to work out before the movie, but you know what? I'll do both. Did you see the new King Kong Godzilla movie? I remember I have not. I kind of want to see it. Yes, Yaphet Kotto is one of my all-time favorite character actors. Really like the Black Gene Hackman. He's good in everything. Good in the James Bond movie. He was awesome in the Star Chamber, although he had a small role in that. Midnight Run. I think was he on Homicide, the TV show with Andre Brower? Am I imagining that? Um, yeah, I don't want to fly to India for a month. Fuck that. Imagine the diarrhea that I would have. I kind of like the old school Godzilla TV movies. I mean, that the last Godzilla movie I saw was whatever one came out in 2019. Hello, Furbo. Welcome. My favorite James Bond is Roger Moore. Controversial opinion there. But when I was dating Chandler, she's a Daniel Craig guy, and I had never seen a Daniel Craig James Bond, so we did a movie night, and we watched, I think it was Casino Royale, and then I showed Chandler Moonraker, and we both didn't like the other's choices. George Lazenby, he's all right. I mean, I have on my VCR the on Her Majesty's Secret Service. I watched like the first 10 minutes. It was a little rough. But I'm going to watch the whole thing. I actually like Timothy Dalton as James Bond. Um, I haven't seen that one. But I mean, Yaphet Kotto is that stereotypical, especially because he's so black. Like he is like Bill Duke, Dikembe Mutombo black. Um, he he's that typical. I don't know his name, but I've seen him in a lot of movies. So I can't wait to see him on the big screen. I never saw Alien in a theater, so although Aliens I like better than Alien, it'll be fun to see. Who else is in Alien? I think Tom Skerritt. Um, I'm not sure if Lance Henricks is in. Is he an Alien too? It's been so long since I've seen it. No, Will Ospreay has rejected my pleas of friendship. I've now bought 3 jackets from him, 2 track jackets, a Letterman's jacket, uh, a couple Bruv shirts. I'm devastated, to be honest with you. Yes, is Bishop in the first Alien? Yeah, I can't argue with that. Um, in terms of The Spy Who Loved Me being the best James Bond movie, because I think he had a great nemesis in Jaws. But I kind of have a special spot in my heart for Moonraker, which, Moonraker was not supposed to be the next James Bond movie after Spy Who Loved Me, but I think the James Bond franchise really wanted to cash in on the Star Wars, you know, hoopla, so they kind of bumped Moonraker up. Um, and I loved Michael Lonsdale as Hugo Drax. He was a great bad guy. And Jaws made his return. Now, it's funny to me that they turned him into they almost did what they did with Kamala, um, where they turned him into a cartoon character. I liked Jaws in the probably the first 50 minutes of Spy Who Loved Me when he was just an ass kicker. Um, I mean, Moonraker was a little over the top, but it was 1979 at the height of the disco era, and Star Wars was Star Wars mania was in full effect. Um, yeah, I remember, it's funny, I remember, the hotel clerk in Spy Who Loved Me, uh, she does a lot of, autograph signings still, and she's still for an older woman, like, she's gotta be 70. What up, Drunken Donuts? So my 2 favorite Bond, Roger Moore movies are Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker. I was kinda hoping they'd bring Jaws back maybe for what was the one after, Moonraker with the French girl, um, and Lynn Holly Johnson? Yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong. I don't like those. I don't Shane Taylor just doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry, man. And I don't know about Will Ospreay against Roderick Strong, but that will be I mean, Roderick Strong is a good wrestler, so, he's probably one of the few guys who can, s keep up with, Osprey in the ring. I just Daniel Craig was too serious for me. Lynn Holly Johnson was like, wow. She was so hot in that James Bond. Um, and so was Reb Brown. I had no idea that one of my favorite character actors of that um, era, Reb Brown, was in Chips. But Lynn Holly Johnson and Ice was it Ice Chalet? No, Ice Capades with Robbie Benson. Wow. I mean, she was probably one of my first crushes from that era. I mean, that wouldn't be bad. Here's what I want to see. Hit the like button, you tax cheaters. 19 people in here and only 11 likes. Shit. I remember those 2 TV movies he did, Red Brown. He was also in maybe my favorite movie of all time, A Big Wednesday, has The Enforcer. I think those 3 are too strong to put in together. Here's what I wanna see. You've got some great factions in AEW right now. You've got the Elite, the new Elite. You've got Omega, will probably bring in Kota Ibushi and one other. You've got the Kingdom, with Roderick Strong and Taven and Jackson. You've got Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne, and Christian. I mean, Edge is kind of in no man's land. He's not, I mean, I guess you could say he's in a faction with Briscoe and Kingston. You've got, the Don Callis faction, and you've got what I hope happens is Osprey breaks away from the Don Callis faction, reforms United Empire with Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis, who I believe is injured. And then yeah, I mean, you could have a factions tournament. And you've got the Acclaim, they're kind of like they would be like the jobbers of that group. You've got the Guns and Jay White. Like, there's a lot of good factions in AEW right now. So, Osprey's not jobbing to Roderick Strong. So I'm assuming that match at the end of it, something will happen setting up Osprey for London. Now, whether that's MJF comes back, although I believe he just had shoulder surgery. So, but that's a tough one because I don't think they would bring MJF back for London to have him lose to Osprey. Um, I mean, it makes sense for Osprey to win the title in London. Um, but shockingly, I'm kind of shocked that the ratings for last week's Dynamite were so low because although I'm an AEW fan and a mark, I guess you'd say, uh, I like what they've been doing like the last 3 to 4 months. The Sting's final match was done. The Revolution was a great, as Jordan was there, it was a great build up. The Devil storyline, at least the beginning and middle, were good. I don't know about the final reveal. It's not something I would have done, but hey, what do I know? I just work here. Yeah, I think the bus is in the hospital, from what I understand. Um, so, uh, but the ratings have been down lately. And I loved what Jack Perry did last week and at the pay per view. I mean, it makes total sense um, from a writing perspective, but you know, it's what if this bus. What would be funny if they had video of the bus hitting Darby Allin and it was Sting on "I never liked you in the first place, kid." That's how you do an angle. Excuse me. So, my bad. My bad. My bad. Hit the like button, guys. Oh well, we got 12 people in here. 12 likes. Never mind. Uh, I mean, I hope so, but holy fuck, the ratings were pretty bad last week. I mean, I think when they showed the CM Punk Jack Perry tape, it peaked at like 900,000. And then last week it was, if you believe everything you read, was 683,000. Like that's crazy. But I hope they stick with it, man. Um, well, Drunken Donuts, that's an angle I would consider. But it'll be this Wednesday's Dynamite should be good. Of course, I feel bad for all the wrestlers who have to travel to Winnipeg. That's a tough trip. From LA, you got to fly into Minnesota and then to Winnipeg. It's cold too, man. Woo, Nelly, it's cold up there. When I was in Winnipeg, it was minus 21, no wind chill. It was literally a pure minus 21. Fat Pig the Conqueror. I believe you are new to the stream. I don't know what that show is, to be honest with you. Yeah, she's not good on the mic, Jordan. She should be in the ring where she shines. Because I saw her wrestle Willow Nightingale in Long Beach about a year ago for the New Japan Women's Championship, and it was a great match. I mean, that was my first introduction to her, and like, I don't know if the planned finish was Willow winning because that was the match that she Mercedes broke her ankle. Um, so if I were them, I would absolutely get her a manager, like a Heyman. She's just not good on the mic. And, as a stand up comic of 25 years, being good on the mic ain't easy. You either are or you are not. Unfortunately, there's no way to really get better on the mic. You can improve a little bit, but she's just not. She looks awkward on the mic. Like she looks like, oh my god, she looks like when a comic. I had a show the other night at the Comedy Store that explains how Mercedes Moné is, and for whatever reason, I just wasn't vibing with the crowd. So after every joke, and I know some of these jokes work, guaranteed. Uh, Instead of expecting a laugh, I was hoping for a laugh. And when I'm rolling, I do. Hey, do you think OJ ever watched Dexter and thought that's how I should have done it? That joke always gets a laugh. That night at the store, it really didn't because I think the crowd could sense my apprehension. That's how she is on the mic. Like you could tell she says a line and then hopes for a response, and she doesn't get the response. And I know internally exactly what she's thinking. Oh shit, what's my next line? 100% Judy Chinchada on the mic. That's a deep LA comedy cut. So what I would do with Mercedes Moné is get her in the ring, and then people will forget all about her mic skills. You pair her with Stokely Hathaway. Even smart Mark Sterling was good with Jade Cargill, and he's not really on camera anymore. Like I don't know if he's even in AEW anymore, or there's got to be maybe a young manager on the independent scene, Earl Skakel. Oh, would I kill it on the mic with her? Uh, Yeah, I mean, she's just not good on the mic, and it's not even really a criticism, some people just she's an athlete, so she's probably never really put in a lot of time cutting promos. I just don't think Julia Hart's ready yet. I mean, Willow makes sense. They'll have a good match. I've seen them in a ring, and you have Willow, and I gotta be honest with you, I mean, since Ronda Rousey last appeared in Ring of Honor, I'd have Ronda Rousey against Mercedes Moné. It's a big name match. Ronda Rousey will get WWE eyes on the product. Now, whether they have a good match or not, I don't know because it's two completely different styles. It's power moves with Rousey versus pure athleticism with Mercedes. I do think Sky is a star, but I don't necessarily know if she's ready for like a main event women's match. I mean, Tony Storm and Mercedes. I don't know. There's just no storyline there at the moment. Uh, yeah, she looks like Serena Deeb. She just doesn't do it for me. But we'll see what happens. I mean, nothing against her. She just doesn't have that it factor. Like Julia Hart has that it factor. Mercedes has the it factor. Um, I mean, Cornette would be awesome on with Mercedes. I mean, if I were AEW, since she's kind of struggling to get that fan base, I bring in Cornette as her manager. Yeah, I mean, Cornette's awesome on the mic. Ric Flair, great on the mic. Rick Rude, great on the mic. Um, Mr. Perfect, pretty good on the mic. Um, Hulk Hogan, good on the mic, especially as a bad guy. I mean, current AEW, MJF is he's just a natural on the mic. He doesn't try. That's just MJF. Um, just being MJF. He's just good on the mic. So, um, no, not Jimmy Hart. Gary Hart. Come on, my brother. And then the black guy interrupted his promo when he was working an angle with Killer Brooks, and Gary Hart turns around. Improv goes, "I'm doing some business, my brother." Uh, so you know, like here's how I would have brought in Mercedes Moné. I mean, we all knew she was coming into Boston. So when the lights went out and she came out the first time, I wouldn't have had her come out first. I would have had Britt Baker come out first. And then you cut a promo of, oh, you thought it was going to be someone else, did you? Well, guess what? I made the women's division in AEW. I was the first women's AEW champion. And if anyone's going to claim to be the AEW women's champion, they got to go through me. Lights go out, and then Mercedes walks out. That would have been the first feud, and she would have been on the pay-per-view the next couple weeks later. They've waited too long to put her in the ring. Britt Baker's a great worker. It would have been good. And then, let's just say Britt Baker does the job to Mercedes. Whatever that pay-per-view was, Full Gear, or what was it, Revolution? I forget. No, right, because she came in after Revolution. So whatever the next pay-per-view was after Revolution, Mercedes gets the win over Britt Baker. Lights go out. Jamie Hayter comes back. Well, guess what? I beat Britt Baker too, bitch. Bam! No, the AEW should not hire Vince. I'm throwing out quality ideas here, man. Well, that's the thing, Kip. And by the way, thank you to Kip Smith and Gina Babina for being the moderators. And although the numbers are down for the Earlverse streams, I don't give up. I'm going to turn this into a wrestling hockey stream if it kills me. Trust me, women would want to interact with me if they saw the picture. Yeah, the Mogul Embassy kind of like faded away. You got Brian Cage. Kip is a moron. Huge mistake. He's everywhere and says nothing. Can't stand the guy. Well, Grange, that's your opinion. But Kip has been very good to me, and I trust him in his moderating duties, as well as Gina Babina. Now, let's play nice in here, Grange. Well, he is part of this because he provides, along with Jordan, the thumbnails and, keeps the riffraff in check. He doesn't block anyone, he doesn't mute anybody. Uh, you know, so I have no complaints. But if you don't like him, Grange, you know, what are you gonna do? I can't have everyone in the stream get along. All right, see you later, dude. You know, that might be some Dabbleverse drama that I don't know about, but that's fine. I mean, listen, not everyone can get along with everyone. What up, Elite? We're just talking a little AEW wrestling, not too much hockey talk, which is probably good that the Kings shit the bed. Hello, Jack. Hit the like button. Easy C321 and Jack. That's what I said. I mean, I said the Elite, if they do this right, are the new Horsemen, and I got a lot of shit. By the way, the Seattle Kraken fired Dave Hackstall today. Um, so, um, I think the Bucks are like the Anderson brothers. Jack Perry's the enforcer, and I think Okada could be like an Asian Ric Flair, which is going to be tough because he's not great on the mic because of um, the language barrier. But like, he almost doesn't have to be that good on the mic. You've got, he's in the suits. He gets out of the Ferrari. He's got the blonde hair. Like there's a Four Horsemen vibe to this group, and yeah, I mean, I could see a little bit of evolution. Do you think the Bruins have a chance? Yeah, I mean, listen, they're about to blow out the Bruins, and we'll see tomorrow night. I mean, the Maple Leafs will come hard, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Uh, and then when MJF comes back, do you put him in a faction? Maybe him and Wardlow reunite. So, well, I think Osprey will be the champion coming out of All In London. I think at Full Gear, or is it Double or Nothing? Double or Nothing in Vegas. I mean, he's clearly battling Roderick Strong. So, maybe MJF comes out at the end of that match and challenges for London, but and you got to have something for Samoa Joe to do. I mean, I think Bischoff is. Do you think a gay wrestler will ever be champion? Yeah, as long as they're interesting enough. I mean, if you look at out wrestlers, you have Anthony Bowens, who I don't know if he's interesting enough to be world champion. Fred Rustler, who was on the Comedy Store Wrestling podcast, he's out, but I don't necessarily know if he's interesting enough to be the champion. I don't think wrestling fans really care if they're gay or straight. It's like, are you interesting? Do you bring me in when you walk out of the backstage area onto the ramp? Am I excited or do I not care at all? Who's a bigger wrestling fan, you or Tony Hinchcliffe? I mean, I would say I probably know a little bit more about like older wrestling. Like Tony probably doesn't know like who Nikita Koloff is or Magnum TA, but we're big fans. I don't think it's a competition. I think we both based our roasting personalities on wrestlers. You'd have to ask Tony who's his inspiration was, but, mine was like Rick Rude. And if I were roast battling today, which I will never roast battle again, I would definitely do a Will Ospreay um, themed personality. Well, I don't watch Kill Tony, so I don't know. Um, I don't really know how he roasts or whatever he does. I don't watch comedy, so like Magnum TA was basically my John Cena, but the auto accident ruined him. I mean, that accident really changed a lot of things in the wrestling world because he was supposed to feud with Nikita Koloff, and then he gets in the car accident, and literally within 24 hours, I believe Dusty Rhodes had a great idea of, um, "Hey, I'm going to take on the Four Horsemen. Let's turn Nikita Koloff face." And if you watch that one, you can just go on YouTube and look up Nikita Koloff face turn. It's pretty fucking amazing, that pop. Because it was, who was it? It was JJ Dillon and Ole Anderson wrestling Dusty Rhodes and a mystery partner. And so Dusty's walking inside the cage. Nikita Koloff's walking behind him. And most of the crowd thought Nikita was going to beat the shit out of him. And it was great acting by Nikita Koloff. He gets to the top of the ropes, looks at the crowd, looks into the ring, looks at the crowd, and with the perfect amount of delayed response, starts attacking Ole Anderson. And then they double team JJ Dillon, who was a very good seller. People kind of forget JJ Dillon was a wrestler as well. So, um, yeah, I mean, listen, I get that, Jordan. Let me see. I mean, I think wrestling fans would be very disappointed if there was no AEW because let's say AEW went out of business tomorrow. Now, you think all those guys would go to WWE and be superstars, but Kenny Omega would not be in a top program. Who are you going to put him up against? Osprey would be buried. Jay White would be buried. He'd be in mid card matches with Sheamus. Now you might say he's in trios matches with the Acclaim, so he's getting buried. Like he should be a star. He is a star, but he should be much more prominently featured. Um, hey, there's Mark Stone walking, and with no limp at all. That bastard. Um, So, they complain, wrestling fans complain. Listen, I'm an AEW guy, and they don't do everything perfect. The Devil storyline, I think, was the best storyline in AEW history. I mean, I had friends of mine who wrestle in WWE were calling me going, "Hey, who do you think it is?" So, when wrestlers from the other company are like invested in your storyline, it's a good storyline. But then, they kind of botched, in my opinion, the ending of it. And, I think their biggest problem is long-term storytelling. But you look at, I do have hope. I don't know if they have a new writer or whatever, but everyone criticized showing the Perry Punk backstage fight. Um, and it was beautifully done. I mean, it was shown, okay, we're going to show this. We're going to show why we have a falling out with FTR because they're CM Punk's guy, Jack Perry's our guy, and it's now morphed into the forming of a faction. So someone in AEW had that idea. Let's show the footage. Some people are going to say it's a bad move, promoting basically another wrestler in another company, but it totally worked. Now, Okada doesn't necessarily, Okada fits the elite if they're going to do something with him and Omega, because wrestling fans have really missed out on the Omega Osprey matches in New Japan. I mean, fan fucking tastic. By the way, I was at GCW last Saturday. Great. I mean, that not a bad match. Osprey does have good merch. Um, who ended up being the devil? Adam Cole, which once again wouldn't have been what I would have done. I would have had it be Dolph Ziggler, and the Devil's Henchman would be Mustafa Ali, Matt Riddle, and then the fourth guy could have been Sean Spears, could have been Kyle O'Reilly. Because Sean Spears said that in one of the Devil attacks, he was one of the henchmen, which I would guess he was the Hangman Page incident. Because all those guys were pretty jacked in that segment. By the way, we're gonna go another like 20 minutes, maybe. What? No, we're gonna go another 15 minutes, guys. So I would love to go to the UK and roast battle Jimmy Carr because Jimmy has his own version of the show over there. When Comedy Central and I were talking, they asked me when they wanted to bring me back to the show, gee, I wonder why. Because maybe the people who were there ahead of me didn't do a good job. I said, I've got the perfect idea. Now, this is right when Jimmy Carr's roast battle was announced in the UK. I said, listen, it's perfect. A lot of people don't think I beat Jimmy. So the first episode, you have Jimmy. Hey, welcome to UK roast battle. Bobbity, bobbity, bobbity. My music hits. I come out shirtless, leather pants, and American flag draped over me. Come on, man. That's how you fucking do it. Name me one name me one battle from Jimmy Carr's roast battle. Woo! You ever watch Scott Steiner's workout DVD? No, I would not watch Scott. When the day comes when I'm so bored, I'm watching Scott Steiner's workout DVD. That's the day the bullet goes in the chamber. Well, I think with Adam Cole, it does make sense from a storyline perspective that he would be the devil along with the Kingdom and Roderick Strong, because those guys were big in not New Japan, but NXT, and it makes sense. But I said, AEW at that time and really now has a ratings problem. They've hit a ratings peak where there are no more AEW fans to cull from. So you got to figure out a way to get WWE fans to watch your product. And having Ziggler, Ali, and Riddle, at least two of those three. Now, maybe they reached out to those guys and they couldn't come to a negotiation deal. I mean, Riddle's in MLW. I'm pretty sure he'd rather be in AEW. I think Dolph is very happy in TNA. And then, Mustafa Ali's probably happy in TNA. I do like that guy Moose in TNA. I've never seen him before. So Nick Nemeth being there has opened my eyes to the world of Moose. But Cold C, yes, it's against flag code, but that would get people talking. And me and Jimmy would be a great battle because I'm exactly what his fans hate and my fans love. So if you don't think I beat Jimmy, you're going to tune in to see me get killed, hopefully. And if you think I beat Jimmy, you're going to see me beat him again, but on his home turf. Like, that's what roast battle, when it's operating at its best, there's a storyline, but it doesn't need any writing. It's just there. But what do I know? Like Bill Paxton said in Aliens. What do I know? I just work here. How close was it to? They asked me who I wanted to battle, and I said, "Well, let me battle my ex." And once again, here's the storyline. We had a great battle at the LA Riot Alternative Comedy Festival. When we were the undercard, we were basically the dark match, because you had Pat Barker, who was the LA champion at the time, roast battling Leah Kajanian, who's a very good battler. And then you had Sarah Tiana, my friend, against Guy Branum. And Pat and Leah just didn't have good chemistry that night. Pat was oddly aggressive that night, and it just didn't work because he's very mild-mannered. And then I love Sarah and Guy, but I think they had They might have had a few drinks before their battle, so it was a little sloppy. Me and my ex killed it, and we were dating at the time. So I told the Comedy Central executive, here's the storyline. They had a great battle when they were dating. Let's have them battle when they're not dating. No, Chandler and I did not roast battle. She would be very good at it because she was kind of a bitch when she had to be. Believe me, I found that out many a time. But I won't mention the ex's name. But the guy's like, "Oh yeah, we're not going to use her again." So, okay, well, how about Jimmy Carr in the UK? They were stuttering and stammering, and I was like, "All right, just forget it." Uh, I love Dickie Barrett, the Mighty Mighty Bosstones. Thank you very much. And give Chandler a follow. I forget her handles. She's got me blocked on all social media, but I don't hate. But don't troll her, because then I get in trouble, and we'll probably never talk again. So please, don't troll. I don't ask you guys for much. We've done a 50-minute stream here. I haven't asked you for fucking money once. This ain't no panhandling hour. But don't troll. Be nice and supportive of her. See, exes can get along. Um, so I often get told I sound like Phil Hartman. But GCW, I went. They have shows about every 3 months at the Ukrainian Cultural Center. Uh, I don't know about that, William. But listen, I can't control people who block me. Um, you know, I can live with how I've acted. Well, I try. I'm not friendly with every ex. I'm friends with about, I would say, 95% of my exes, booty calls, one night stands. But there's some that I'm not friends with. I'll let you figure out which ones. If you are an Earl Skakel fan, you will know which ones. Do I like UK comedy, and do you think you'll uh, do well with it? I mean, I've been told that my comedy, I'm basically an American Jimmy Carr, like the roasting and the no fucks given. I mean, obviously, I'm not nearly as known as Jimmy, but I've been told my comedy would do quite well in the UK and Australia. Now, we don't talk about why we ended things, Queenan. Uh, you know, we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, there's some great indie promotions. I mean, the last GCW main event I saw, well, actually, the last two were Joey Janela against Andrade. Amazing. I mean, amazing. And then the last one was Joey Janela against Too Cold Scorpio. That Too Cold Scorpio. And the guy's 58 and he fucking killed. Great storytelling in the ring. I thought, I don't want to see a 58-year-old guy fucking wrestle, but he killed it, man. I got to be honest with you. Too Cold Scorpio was the real deal. So let me see. I missed a few questions here. Yeah, Swerve. Jordan is right. Swerve Strickland is over. I don't think he needs a partner or a faction. He's over, and he's good on the mic too. And he's getting better on the mic. And there's got to be something for Hangman Page. Now, I'll assume tomorrow or Wednesday night in Winnipeg, you might see Omega and Hangman Page come out as the elite, and then maybe Kota Ibushi. But he must have visa problems because they don't really bring him over to the States very often. What's your take on Action Mike Jackson? I mean, he just doesn't do it for me. That's the Mike Jackson of the kingdom, right? Uh, Devastating 1-0 win last night. LOL. Now, what's funny about that, Kongzilla? I might block you for that blasphemy, but it was pretty devastating. I mean, the Kings, obviously when they lost the first game, or the first home game 6-1, just a bad game. But last night they couldn't have played any better. I mean, Skinner was just, and Riddick, big save Dave. He played great, to be honest with you. There's nothing you can do. Skinner just played a great game, and um, what can you do? Thank you for the likes. We got 5 more minutes, kids. So get those questions in, concerns, complaints to management. Out of control, Kongzilla. I'm going to have my moderators put you in timeout if you keep reminding me of the Kings losing 1-0. Damn it. How come they don't use the heart is in the way, James, of that question. So I will wait till someone else chimes in, and then I can see your question. By the way, second period, 16:05 left. 1-0 Florida Panthers. Panthers right now on a power play. If the Panthers win tonight, the dynasty of the Tampa Bay Lightning would appear to be over, because I believe Stamkos is a free agent. And he's still got a little gas in the tank. And, it'll be interesting to see what the Kings do if they lose tomorrow night or Friday or Sunday. The Kings have to win now 3 in a row. Who retires, who doesn't. I mean, they're stuck with Dubois. How come they don't use Gage? Nick Cage? Nick Cage did come out rehabbing there, so it's probably not really too much to ask him to come out. I'm assuming they're going to set up some storyline with him, Hangman Page, going up against the new elite. Like I said, maybe they bring in Kota Ibushi and maybe Darby. So I hope Christian is. Christian's from Canada, so I'm assuming he's going to be on a Canadian card. 2.5 more minutes, guys. Get those questions ready. Whatever happened to Miro? I enjoy his work rate. Yeah, I mean, he's just another dude who, they just don't have a storyline for. And I would think they would, based on, once again, if Miro, I'm not saying make him champion, but I got to believe that if he's wrestling on TV, you might get some WWE fans watching. I don't listen to podcasts, Rebel, but thank you for the recommendation. 2 more minutes, guys. 2 more minutes, kids. In the Earlverse stream, yes. I am on Patreon. I believe it's a good Patreon page. I only have 13 paid subscribers, but I'm not complaining. And, if you don't want to do super chats or whatever, you just want to send daddy money. I'm Jewish. I ain't going to send it back to you. This ain't a work. Yes, and follow me everywhere at Earl Skakel. A lot of people, I'll leave you guys with how you can help, not just me, but a streamer. Hackamania is selling well. Yeah, let's see. I mean, listen, Hackamania is like AEW. Like, people are rooting against it. But, listen, if Hackamania is a success, it's good for everybody. Now I'm not going to participate in the podcast where people are shitting on John or Steel Toe or Kevin. I'm doing the shows, and the open mic contest is officially going to be win Earl Skakel's money. So if you tell a funny joke, you get some money. You get some money, honey. Yes, energy drink, food, healthy eating, help Earl out. I'm a struggling millionaire. So thank you. We got 30 more seconds, guys. Lowest is, well, that might be more expensive than you can imagine. Trust me on that one. It's lowest, an expensive dog. All right, the arrow is on the end stream. I'm not kidding around. You got 15 more seconds to squeeze in one last question. I did an hour stream for you guys. Please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.